I think honestly, the reason why I love talking so much about fat loss, but then also the mindset, is because there's so many different similarities. You know, at the end of the day, somebody could want to have success at reaching their goals. Maybe it's burning body fat, but if they have these self-limiting beliefs that's holding them back, a horrible mindset that's just going to be almost like self-sabotage, they're never going to see the results they're looking for. So let's talk about how to have a better mindset and really boiling down when it comes to your specific goals and giving you guys some little tricks on how to help you achieve your goals. This is actually personal stuff that I love to do because it just helps me with the right intentions. It helps me also with the right emotions that come into play. You know, at the end of the day, like when I focus on and when I say emotions, what I mean is confidence. And I think that's what we're all truly after anyways, is confidence. You know, most guys, hey, they want to burn body fat and look good with their shirts off because of confidence. Hey, most people want to be able to, achieve their goals, and they're going to feel more confident at achieving their goals, whatever it is that it is. Let's say you already have success at it, right? Like, if you're one of the greatest, right? Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, right? You feel confident knowing that like you're the best. And so I feel like as just human beings, right, we all strive in one way, form, or another to become the best at whatever it is that we're trying to do. And during the times of, the storms, the darkness, the trials and tribulations, right, we get derailed. And that kind of throws us off our course and maybe could affect us where we don't feel so confident. So hear me out. These tips that I'm going to give you hopefully is going to help you out. Now remember, just like with anything we talk about at Heartletics, when it comes down to your mindset, it needs to be a practice. It doesn't matter what you do in terms of like adapting a better mindset and different practices and techniques. For example, like fat loss related. Let's say if someone's going out to eat, okay, at Heartletics, we're going to give them two different options on how to, have a strategy that's going to help them go out, have some burgers, have some beer, have some pizza, some cheesecake, whatever it is that they want to have, right? We're either going to, inform them about doing intermittent fasting for that set day or doing what's called a protein sparing diet for that day. So regardless, both different options and strategies we give them, it's going to lead to the end result where they can still consume the foods that they want and enjoy it and not feel guilty about it the next day. So with mindset, it does not matter which practice that you want to do. There's affirmations, there's visualization, there's meditation, there's journaling. There's so many different aspects when it comes to developing somebody's mindset and really tapping into the subconscious mind, into goal setting, getting them more focused on having more success and abundance in their life. But don't feel like it needs to be this one size fits all. I have to do this. No, like what you need to do is just anything that makes you feel good, because at the end of the day, that's all that these mindset techniques truly get to the root of the surface, is making you feel better, right? You feel more positive, you feel more confident, you feel more encouraged to taking that inspired action, okay? And that inspired action, one step outside your comfort zone, that's where it's really going to help you stick with the process and achieve the goals that you're after. So now with that being said, let's go into some tips, right, on goal setting and personally what I like to do, okay? I always say this often, the formula for success is very simple, right? It's hard in the form of having discipline and patience, but the formula for success is pretty simple, right? One, you need to know what your goals are. Like have clarity on that, If you want to lose weight, okay, great, then make that the goal, right? Hey, I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to get off my medications. Have clarity on that. But most importantly, and this is tip number 2, is you need to know why you want them. And, if you want to lose weight, we always say, ask yourself why 7 times, the 7-layer why. So maybe in the beginning, you just want to lose some weight, but you really just want to lose some weight to have more energy. And maybe you want to have more energy because, I don't know, you want to be able to play with your kids more. And maybe you want to play with your kids more because you feel like you're not being the parent that you want to be. So that's another layer why. And maybe you want to spend that quality time with your family and, help them create sustainable lifestyle habits for success and, health and fitness. Because maybe when you were a kid and growing up in middle school or high school, You were overweight, you got picked on and bullied, and you don't want that to happen to your children. So you can see how he's just like starting off with the weight loss. When you ask a bunch of reasons why, it really gets underneath the root of the surface. That's how you need, in any kind of goal that you want to have, you need to ask yourself why 7 times. If you want to achieve money, which most people do, right? Like, oh, I want to make a lot of money. Okay, why? You know? Well, I want to have financial independence. Why? Well, I'm stressed and I'm worried about paying the bills. Why? Oh, and then it just keeps on breaking down. And it gets to a point where you're asking yourself why so many times, it's going to be hard to figure out the answer, why. But it makes you think. And I always say it like this, right? Imagine, this is one of the best things I ever heard. I think Wayne Dwyer says it. He said, imagine that your thoughts and the words that you speak being like this imaginary paintbrush that's painting your future reality. And it's just like, what are the thoughts that you're thinking? Your daily habits are why you have the life that you have right now. So it's just like, if you're asking yourself some hard-rooted questions, like really asking yourself why, you're forced to think differently. Your brain wants to answer that question. So if you really get to the deep root surface of anything it is that you truly want and have that deep-rooted why, 1, you're automatically thinking differently, which is great. But 2, think about it like this, right? And I'm going to talk about this here in a little bit. The pathway to success, there's going to be lots of curveballs, uphill, downhills, right? Like it's going to be tough at times. And that's just like, the world trying to just push you to see like how bad do you actually want it. At the end of the day, like everybody wants money, but who's willing to put in the work? Who's willing to stick with their goals? Who's willing to, show up even at times when maybe they're going through a storm in their life? A lot of stress, a lot of adversity. It's just like you almost have to prove it to the world and most importantly to yourself, like, hey, you got this. It's unshakable confidence. You're showing up each and every day whether you feel like it or not, and that's what's going to make you successful. Now, I like to say that's discipline, right? You just need to focus on being more disciplined. And when you have a deep-rooted why, guess what? If let's just say it's a snowy day outside and waking up in the morning to go to the gym, it's a lot easier to stay in bed underneath those warm sheets and just sleep in rather than wake up, go to the gym in the cold weather. When, think about it. If your why is just, I want to lose some weight, you're probably more likely going to just sleep in and stay in bed. But if it's like, hey, I'm doing this to leave a legacy, I'm doing this to teach my kids sustainable habits, I'm doing this to live longer and get off my medications, you're probably going to get out of bed. That's just the facts. So whatever your goal is, you need to figure out, why do you truly want it? And ask yourself, once again, why at least 7 times. And the last part to this is to figure out, who do you need to become? Creating this new version of yourself and achieving this goal, just literally think about this. The 2.0 version of yourself, and we go over this all the time at Heartletics with our members, is if the world was, throwing storms to this person, there's a lot of stress in their life, a lot of adversity, but this was the person that you're truly after, the goal that you already achieved, what would they do during the hard times? Would they still show up? Would they still have a positive mindset? Or would they go back and revert to their old ways? And once you can have a clear understanding of that character, right, and who they are, it makes it so much clearer, because now you can start imitating that person. Now you can start shifting your identity to become more like that person. So figure out this person that already has their goals, right? How do they act? How do they think? What do they say? What are their habits? Try to get as crystal clear as possible, because that's the person that you need to start acting like today. Just start acting. Have this imagination of you already becoming that person and you acting like that individual. It helps so much with achieving your goals so much faster. There's plenty of stories out there. Look up different, Olympic athletes, look up just regular athletes. Like, when it comes down to an athlete having success in their individual sports, their mindset is what really helps them. Not the talents, but it's the mindset. Michael Jordan talks about, imagination so much that, regardless, he had this unshakable confidence. Kobe Bryant also, where it's just like, they have this unshakable confidence, you know, this great imagination that I'm going to be holding up, right? And this may be another form of visualization also, if you want to call that. I'm going to be holding up that trophy. I'm going to be having success. I'm going to be doing it whether I feel like it or not. Kobe Bryant, you know, I love his story. He was doing an interview about, you know, he showed up to practice, I think at, I don't know, 4 a.m. And this was during a game, a day of the game. You know, he showed up to practice just shooting hoops. And somebody from the opposing team came in there and was also, you know, shooting hoops, just practicing. And so I think the guy, you know, the opponent side of Kobe Bryant, he said that he was shooting for, I think, 4 or 5 hours, just shooting hoops, right? Just practicing, getting ready for the game the night, you know, the following night. And Kobe didn't stop the entire time. And when this guy walked in the gym, Kobe was already breaking down in sweat. And after the game, the guy went up into Kobe and he said, "Hey, Kobe, like, you know, remember me? I was practicing earlier today with you." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I remember. I saw you." And he's like, "Let me ask you a question. Like, when did you show up to the gym?" He's like, 4 a.m. And he's like, "Okay, that's strange. Like, why? When did you stop?" And he said, there's no stop in my mind. It's the fact that I was getting ready to leave the gym and being done with my workout, but then you walked in." And he said, "I just knew for a fact I needed to continue shooting until you left, just to prove a point." And like that unshakable confidence, that mindset, having that imagination, right, of like, hey, I'm doing this, no ifs, ands, or buts, whether I feel like it or not. Michael Phelps, right, great Olympic swimmer, same thing. You know, he has plenty of interviews talking about how, you know, he visualized himself there at the pool, getting ready to dive in, the sound of the gun going off, right? Just like the fans cheering, all this stuff, right? Like he visualized it so crystal clear. John Jones, he's another great example of this. Back in 2011, before he had his, you know, championship fight with Shogun Rua, you know, he was signing the papers as champ 2011 John Jones, champ 2011 John Jones, champ 2011 John Jones. So what is that? He's affirming it. He's affirming it, right? And he talks about it in his episode that he did, or you know, interview that he did, that, you know, hey, at the end of the day, like, I know it's going to be true, so why not speak into existence? You know, there's different universal laws that go over these practices, but regardless, I don't get suckered into, oh, I got to do this, or I got to do this, I got to do this. You should be doing whatever you feel works best for you. So remember, map out your goals. What is crystal clear for you? Have clarity on that goal. The second is to figure out, you know, how do you actually want those goals? And lastly, who do you need to become? Once you have that all identified, realize this, that, you know, the pathway to success, it's simple in that approach, as you just got to show up each and every day. Be 1% better. But there's going to be some uphills. There's going to be some downhills. There's nothing out there that's going to be a straight line that's going to help you reach your goals. And boom, just because you're doing this, it doesn't work like that, right? Remember, the world is going to test you. And it's almost a test to see, like, how bad do you truly want it? How are you going to trust the process? How are you going to stay faithful into reaching your goals? Or are you going to go back to your old ways? And so that's why these different mindset techniques, like, you know, visualization, affirmations, meditation, you know, scripting or journaling, all of this has a vital role into just helping you shift your mindset, helping you get into your subconscious mind, saying like, this is what I want. It's going into your reticular activating system, which is basically what you focus on. That's what you're going to be geared towards. Your mind is going to start looking more towards that direction of what it is that you truly want. So things like the affirmations, the gratitude journaling, the meditation, the visualization, you're practicing it. It's like the mental reps of the gym. You're practicing and telling your mind, like, this is what I truly want. This is what I want to go after. This is a goal that means a lot to me. And obviously, like, okay, there's going to be some times where it's going to get tough, but if you have a deep-rooted why, makes it a lot easier. What makes it a lot more easier is, hey, figure out who is that person. Maybe somebody out there already has the goals that you want. Well, guess what? What are they doing? What are they saying? What are their actions? What are they thinking? Like, figure all that out. This is why I'm a big fan of, like, investing into different mentors and coaches, because the pathway to success is shortcuts it, because they already achieved what I'm after. And I'd rather pay and invest into them to teach me. So that way I don't have to go through trial and error of figuring out it all on my own. So remember, your mindset here is the greatest muscle. I always say that. But there's so many different tools that you can do to just put you in a better emotional state. If you're waking up, you're saying some affirmations, you're feeling really good, feeling really positive, guess what? It's going to help you stick with the path to, okay, I want to go after my goals. I feel really good today. Like I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be, eating healthy. I'm going to be eating plenty of protein. I'm going to go to the gym. If there's meditation in there where you're just focusing on getting in the present moment because maybe you're stressed out from the past or stressed out about the future or work or home, whatever the case may be, hey, guess what? This is going to get you in the present moment. And then once again, you can start visualizing, your goals and say, this is what I'm after. This is what I'm going for. And just remember, you got to take that action. You can't just sit there and meditate all day and expect like the world's going to give you everything you want. Absolutely not. You got to put in the right action, but it's way easier to put in the right action if you feel better, right? And that's what all these techniques are going to be doing and helping you out with, is shifting your mindset, getting you emotionally involved to feeling better, right? And then that's going to be dictating to your own mind, your subconscious thinking, hey, I want this. This is what I'm after. It makes me feel really good thinking about this, talking about this, having these thoughts about this. I want this. And sure enough, as long as you continue to take action, even during the times when life's throwing you curveballs, you will eventually achieve your goals. I promise you that.